unhappy cat. Unhappy cat. Meow. 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 Yeah, one of these days, you know. This is like March something. Yeah, it's terrible. It's got good fur pulled out. Anyways, poor cats. Oh, that wasn't any good. Right on the head. Another cat. Read my mail. Come on, you want to go out? Okay, anyway. So this is a video. Yeah, it's a free will video, but I'm not going to post it as a part of the podcast thing. So I will post links. Maybe I'll just post a link to the page on the bulletin boardy thingy that where I have my videos listed on the subject of free will. I have been doing connected with this podcast thing. Anyway, cat's just gonna be a pain in the ass. I just know it. Anyway, so Anna Contavad has made a video, so I figured I'll talk some on this, but it's kind of a more specific than just the subject of free will. It's more this will to power stuff. You know, the will to live. Yeah, so this is the way he's looking at life: is you either have this will to survive at all costs, or this will to power, which is some other kind of notion of getting what you want, I suppose. The will to accomplishment might be a better thing, or will to productivity. You know, these would be the smarter wills to have, the smarter ideas or themes. So again, that's what I'm going to argue, is your will is just it's an idea, mostly. I mean, obviously it's a desire that it's motivated by, but it's sort of a devotion to an idea. Devotion either to the idea of yourself and your own comfort, or devotion to the idea that you're obligated to be productive in the world and, you know, meet some kind of standard of functionality that, like any other device in the world, like a toaster or a microwave oven or a dishwasher, you need to have some sort of utility to be a good thing. And if you don't have utility, if you're just a consumer, just a taker, then yeah, you're a bad thing. You're a parasite, a blight, a disease. And but this kind of conversation this guy will not have, because he will not concede that there is a disease in terms of the function of human beings, that by their nature they are parasitic, and that that nature has to be overcome for us to become dishwashers and sinks and refrigerators and, you know, good appliances, functional devices in the world. So yeah, so let's play with some of this. I'll play some of this. I mean, it's just, you know, it's the same old routine. He just keeps quoting Nietzsche, you know, and Schopenhauer, and you know, these little bits of pieces of stuff. And you know, I just say this is like, you know, just cliche philosophy. There's just no thought to it at all. I mean, to describe human beings as something is kind of stupid, in the sense that if you just realize what we have become, what we were and what we are, we're completely different animals. We're completely different thinking and functioning organisms than we were 10,000 years ago or 40,000 years ago. Yes, our emotions are the same, but how we interact with the world is completely different. You know, how we express our, how we actualize our lives is profoundly different. And I would argue it's the biggest difference is in the acquisition of knowledge, and the fact that we're not just superstitious, silly creatures of tribal mentality. We've transcended tribalism, generally speaking. At least many of us have. There's some people just can't let it go.
In other words, in a sense, we have created the universe that we see.
Again, so in no sense at all have we done any such thing. So he keeps doing this with our the idea that there's some mysterious perception of the universe that we're missing out on, that we aren't seeing the real universe or the good universe or the best universe, that somehow our senses haven't been tuned to the broadest spectrum of reality, that there's some other spectrum of reality that we're missing out on that's important, which is just nonsense.
Our senses are equipped only to see certain things.
No, our senses are pretty much equipped to see everything that's meaningful. Everything that could possibly implicate us in some meaningful way, we have senses capable of detecting that. That's why we're all of a sudden not just blindsided by invisible something or others. I haven't been hit by an invisible something or other in my entire life. There's been no invisible something or other that just whacked me in the back of the head without me knowing. I never saw it coming. Nope, everything I saw, everything that hit me, I could have seen it coming. So I think our senses are working pretty good. But yeah, keep on pretending so you can sell your fairy tales, you friggin' truth molester.
And we assume that which our senses perceive.
We don't assume it, we deduce it, because guess what? All the evidence points to it. Again, I haven't been hit by any invisible hummingbirds or invisible meteorites or invisible anythings, because they don't exist. Okay, and if they did exist, I'd have senses to deal with it. That's the whole point of 4 billion years of evolution, is that it creates tools that are useful. And if the tool, and if there's anything out there worth knowing that you could use to some kind of purpose that would have some sort of meaning, we'd have a sense to be able to sense it. Just the truth.
To be real. Therefore,
yeah, well, therefore, you can throw that therefore right in the garbage, because it's premised on absolute nonsense. So there is no therefore. But again, do your thing. Yeah, we all think this way, don't we? Yes, you do. You think like us, don't you?
We're essentially saying that what...
We're. No, I'm not doing any of this weird fucking shit you're doing, buddy.
Is real is what I decide is real.
Well, that's just silly too, right? But I mean, to an extent, yes, it's true that yes, we have to decide. But the decisions are, if you're going to be at all obedient to telescopes and microscopes and microwaves and electron microscopes and all this other stuff, you're going to be narrow. It's going to be kind of narrow what you're allowed to choose from the table of reality. You get to pick. There isn't too much there. Is there? Is there too much choice for a rational person? What exactly am I going to be undecided on? Reptilians? I don't think so.
What my senses tell me is real is what is...
Nah, again, so we just keep saying what my senses tell me, as if implying that the senses are just nonsense and they're just idiotic and they don't have anything to do with reality. Yeah, they pretty much cover it.
It's actually real. And that's just sense apparatus. How about building forms in your mind? As I say, behind me is the...
building forms in your mind. Oh, you mean understanding concepts like circular and square. 2 + 2 = 4ness. Yeah. Wow. I did all that, didn't I? No, that's really just obvious. It's just revealing simple truths of relationship. This is how things form in the universe. There's rules to the formation of things in the universe, and it falls into these patterns. We recognize the patterns. Not very complicated.
Back door to my house.
Cause and effect.
House and a little thing there that I'm going to put a painting in.
Very exciting. Painting outdoors. That makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't really.
Those are just jumbles of matter, energy, and empty.
Yeah, whatever. They're not really. That's not just what they are. So again, just keep pretending we can't recognize that it's made out of wood. We think it's made out of horse feathers. Or maybe it's made out of whale blubber. We can't tell. Yeah, we can. Oh, I mean, these people are just so desperate, to create gingerbread land so they can create hobgoblins.
space, as usual, functions of each other as well. But I've willed them into existence.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, what's the point of this? I mean, well, really, what's the point of it? He's saying he made this happen. It doesn't happen in reality. If he's dead, this is gone. This all disappears somehow. Is this a fucking starting point for a rational conversation? The universe blips out of existence when you blip out of existence? Your senses are creating the universe. What? I mean, this is just so fucking goddamn idiotic. Why don't you talk about Barney the dinosaur and the Teletubbies as if they're real? Because you saw them on TV and your senses perceive them as real.
Made things out of them.
Pathetic. Yeah. We made things out of it. We okay, acknowledge the fact that patterns are recognizable and that things have constituent properties. We recognize the properties, identify them, and then we put things that have similar properties in categories, and then that category essentially becomes a property. Cat needs wiping off. I'll wipe him off with my jacket so I can get an allergy later. That'll be fun. Alright, there, you're done. Alright. Just sort of enjoy that. Yeah. His senses. From his point of view, it's all fun.
Only exists in here. So, in a sense, my will
only exists in here. I mean, just amazing. So it's not a fact of the universe that there's forces that have strict rules about them, so that the formation of like water droplets and round planets, and there's lots of patterns that duplicate each other, are duplicated because of the physical dynamic, and we recognize that, but by recognizing it, we somehow create the phenomenon. No, we didn't create it. We just reveal it. Why are you doing this? I mean, I just can't understand. Why are you doing this? Why are you pretending, okay, that we can't know anything, and that what we know we somehow made up? Why are you doing that?
Is creating the universe. I'm doing this to everything, or
yeah, whatever. Again, I'm creating the universe, so this just gives you an excuse to say everything is as is ambiguous and uncertain. When we know certain things for certain, we know a big chunk of human history. We certainly know evolutionary fact. We have geology and biology and genetics. These sciences exist. These discovered truths are a fact, and you want to just keep evading.
Everyone's will. The will. Who says we even have an individual will?
Well, that's just silly too. We have individual brains. Alright, and the individual brains, obviously, some of them work well, and some of them don't work well at all. Some of them recognize patterns, recognize function, and they say something like, well, your will is just a collection of desires, and these desires are basically motivated by certain intensities, and whether you philosophically, how deeply you philosophically or experientially understand fear, whether you have been enlightened or informed by experience, to recognize the necessity of something, the importance of it, how valuable it is to properly tie your shoes, because one time you didn't properly tie your shoes and you fell down and squished the cat or something. Something horrible happened.
Maybe it's just will in and of itself.
Well, it's not in and of itself. Will is just a phenomenon of the fact that we have competing interests. Mostly self versus them. Mostly self versus the rest of the world. And those competing interests create a dilemma. And we see the resolution of the dilemma as being something to do with some kind of will thing, and we call it that. Your solution to the dilemma, whether it is to say, fuck them, I'm going home, or whether it's to say, I will fulfill my responsibility so I can feel good about myself, whatever the resolution is. Yeah, it just has to do with how much you cherish being able to live with yourself.
That is creating the universe. That's the sort of the tantric view.
Yeah, whatever. It's the imbecile, childish, immature view.
That our desire is necessary in the existence of the universe.
Yeah, so somebody's supposed to take that seriously? I mean, really, I mean, you know, this is somehow less imbecilic than idiotic invented gods. Some kind of stupid theory about a hell and snakes and all kinds of other idiotic notions. This is somehow more sensible than that. This idiotic notion that your desires are fundamental to creating the character of the universe, that the watermelon wouldn't exist if you weren't hungry for it. Oh, what a crock of shit.
No desire, no universe.
Oh, whatever. I mean, this is disgusting. I mean, are there no rules that you people will not force him to obey? Really, is there anybody watching this video silly enough to think this makes any sense? Fuck.
Desire being will. All around me for an eternity of distance is the same thing.
Oh yeah, so again, just completely misappropriate words. You can't see for an eternity of distance.
Matter, energy, empty space.
Well, guess what? It's really just empty space and energy, but whatever.
In my universe, there's a house over there. There's the door behind me.
Yeah, it's not in your universe. It's in the universe. So again, just what is this? Is it what? Why should I mean? There's no reason to have to do this. There should be a fucking law against it. I mean, there's just should be a law against it. This is too stupid. You're gonna pretend we're all living in different universes of our own creation and that no one else can see each other's universe or something? I mean, this is just fucking idiotic.
Which is also my house. There's the planet Jupiter. There is the past, present, and future. There is a car sitting over there in my driveway.
Yeah, so whatever. Now, this has something to do with the fact that now you're going to say you made all that up and it doesn't really exist. Oh, fuck.
I live in a country called Canada. All of these things are creations of the will.
Okay, so again, what's the point, right? What's the point of saying it's a creation of the will, or the creation of anything other than the fact that it's created by the material universe? It's full of atoms who have a history. Every one of the photons that make up all those things you're pointing to all have a history. Every one of them has been somewhere else in the past. That's the fact of it, okay? And you can play this little fucktarded game like you're inventing something. You're not inventing a goddamn thing. The matter existed before you, it will exist after you. You're just pretending to be a king in a fucking goddamn cesspool.
Make sense out of a universe that ultimately is only essentially what it is. It just is.
Oh, whatever. It is essentially what it is. We can't describe it. We can't understand it. We can't do anything. We're just going to sit here and fart like it farts. Just be the fart. Be what? Be a bug. Wow. Fuck, you suck.
All these categories that we've created?
Created, right, again, so we created the idea that things fall into these patterns of solid and liquid and gas, that blue, green, pink, or whatever, tall, massive, light, floats, sinks. We've invented all of this stuff. Fire, not on fire.
All the will. Now think about that.
No, I'm not. I shouldn't have to think about it because it's just fucking ludicrous. All right, things blow. Look, 9/11 happened. It happened. The building blew up. It caught fire. It fell down. All that shit happened. Dumb fuck. Nobody made it up in their brain.
categories we have willed into existence as tools.
Yeah, whatever. So whatever. Does that mean anything? Who the fuck does this mean something to? Please, will you identify your fucking self so I can properly humiliate you? Who the fuck thinks this makes any goddamn sense? Shit.
What does that do to our view?
Do you see how he fucking, what a manipulative, psychopathic kook. What our? Who the fuck thinks like this? This drivel.
Of reality.
Fucking trolls. Queen ka. And, do in the morning, of course. Our categories, we have willed them into existence as tools. What does that do to our view of reality? Question mark. That means that we have created our reality not as individuals but as a species, as social species at that, doesn't it? So again, we create reality. We don't identify it. We don't discover it. We created evolution. Right? It wasn't happening for 4 billion years. No, we just made it up when we showed up, and it never happened. It never really happened. We just made it up. What does this mean? What is this shit? This isn't a fucking rational conversation. I just protest. I protest shenanigans. I wish to file a claim. I wish fight to the death or something. These two, I cannot live with this anti-intellectual crap. This is so fucking caustic to goddamn logic and sensibility. This is not rational. Fucking lunatics and goddamn fucking insane asylums can make better sense than this shit. Anyway. Oh, no wonder. It's no wonder this planet's a shithole. These fucking shit fucking heads. Talking out of their complete, just made up shit. Anyway, slandering science. Slandering the only decent thing humanity has done. It really is the only decent thing we've done is fill in the periodic table, compile evidence, dig up the bones with little brushes and stuff. This is the only decent thing we've done, is find out the truth, and these assholes run from it. Okay, anyway, enough. Till next time. Yeah. I can't make it. There's nothing to make out of this. You can't make anything out of this. Except say, why is he doing this? Why is this bull? How can his brain possibly say, okay, yeah, I'm going to say something like, we create reality in our brain, and it makes the brain makes it happen in the real world. Yeah, I'll go for that. And then I can understand, what does he get out of this? I just don't get it. Alright, I'm done.